Beloved soul, there are no coincidences here. If your eyes landed on this message at this exact moment, it is because something beyond time and logic has gently guided you here. Not to overwhelm you, not to rush you, but to meet you right where you are. Heaven is aware of this moment in your life, and it is not random that you are listening now. Something is stirring in the unseen realm, something already in motion, already aligned with your name on it, though it has not yet taken form in the physical world. You may have felt it as a quiet restlessness, a soft pull, or a sense that a chapter is thinning and something new is breathing just behind the veil. This message is not here to explain everything. It is here to confirm what your spirit already knows. You are being prepared, gently and intentionally, for a shift that cannot be forced or rushed, only received. Right now, you are safe, seen, and intentionally chosen to hear this. Scripture whispers, "For now we see through a glass, dimly," 1 Corinthians 13:12, and that is exactly where you stand, on the edge of clarity, where trust matters more than certainty. What is unfolding does not need your effort, only your openness. The fact that you are still listening tells me your soul is already responding. Stay with this moment. Let it settle. There is more being revealed, layer by layer, and it will meet you only if you are willing to remain present. Before we go any further, I want you to do something intentional. Activate your faith right now. Declare it not quietly, not in your thoughts, but openly. Type these 4 words in the comments. I am ready now. When you declare it, you align yourself with what has already been prepared for you. Heaven responds to willingness. The moment you say yes, the door opens. Listen closely, because what I'm about to say touches a shared ache many carry quietly. You have learned how to be strong in silence, how to keep showing up even when love felt delayed, mismatched, or promised but never quite arriving. You smiled for others while privately wondering if you had missed your moment, if the prayers you whispered when no one was watching had somehow gone unheard. Yet nothing you endured was wasted, and nothing you offered in secret went unnoticed. There has been a holy accounting taking place beyond what you could see, a careful preparation unfolding on both sides of a story that has not yet crossed paths in the natural. Someone connected to your future has been growing in the dark soil of their own process, shaped not by convenience or fantasy, but by refinement, surrender, and hard-earned clarity. Breathe with me. This is not about a vague promise or wishful thinking. It is about a movement already initiated, a convergence set in motion before either of you were fully aware of it. You were planting seeds when you chose integrity over ease, healing over bitterness, patience over panic, even on days when it felt like nothing was changing. Those choices mattered more than you knew. This is the turning point, because what has been forming in the unseen is now pressing closer to visibility. Scripture tells of Ruth gleaning in a field she did not own, unaware that her quiet faithfulness was positioning her directly into covenant and legacy. And in the same way, you did not orchestrate this alignment. You simply stayed true while time did its sacred work. The one approaching your life is not arriving out of lack or fear, but out of readiness, carrying the weight of lessons learned and the humility that only grace can teach. They recognize the cost of love because they have paid it themselves. The tenderness they bring was forged through endurance, and the steadiness they offer comes from choosing God when no one was applauding. There is a reason past connections fell apart, a reason certain doors stayed closed, no matter how hard you tried to open them. Those endings were not rejections, they were protections, clearing space for something that could actually hold what you carry. You are not late, and you are not overlooked. What is coming is connected to purpose, not just companionship, and it will honor the full story of who you are becoming. Even now, there is a quiet agreement being written beyond your sight, and soon enough, what has been faithful in secret will be met with clarity in the open. Stay present to this moment, because what is ahead is not accidental, and your spirit was always meant to arrive here, ready. Before we continue, if this message has touched your spirit, take a moment to like this video and stay connected by subscribing. This is a space for those learning to trust divine timing and walk in faith. If you feel aligned, comment "I receive" and take a deep breath, because what comes next is speaking directly to the season your soul is entering now. There were moments when it seemed easier to harden your heart than to keep it open, moments when waiting felt less like faith and more like being forgotten. Yet, none of that was wasted. Every unseen choice, every silent surrender, every time you chose alignment over impulse, became a seed placed carefully into the unseen soil. Let your spirit settle here. What is unfolding now is not dependent on approval, understanding, or timing dictated by others. Heaven does not rush, and heaven does not forget. There is a convergence already underway, guided by intention rather than chance, and it is reaching toward you even as you listen. Here's the key. Alignment always attracts resistance before it reveals clarity. Not everyone around you will recognize the season you are entering, and some voices may question what you sense so deeply. But what is being formed is not sustained by opinion. It is sustained by obedience. The love approaching your life is anchored in listening for God's voice above all others, which is why it will endure when circumstances shift. Even now, subtle rearrangements are taking place, gentle shifts in perspective, timing, and connection. For some, familiarity is being redefined, hearts being softened where distance once existed. For others, paths are being drawn from places you never could have planned, threads weaving quietly toward a meeting that will feel both surprising and inevitable. You are not meant to manage the details of this unfolding, only to remain open and grateful. Gratitude does more than acknowledge what has been. It creates room for what is arriving. Scripture speaks of a peace that surpasses understanding, guarding the heart and mind, and that peace is not a reward at the end of the journey, but a companion along the way. What is coming toward you is moving with intention, shaped through refinement rather than haste. This is a love that has been stripped of illusion and rebuilt with humility, a heart that learned through loss how to choose depth over distraction. Like a tree pruned back before its season of growth, what was once cut away made space for strength, and when this covenant steps into view, it will not arrive loudly but firmly, carrying the quiet authority of something prepared, something timed, something real. There have been nights when you quietly questioned whether pure love still exists, whether anything sacred could survive in a world that seems to trade depth for convenience and covenant for comfort. You watched promises break easily, watched people choose what was quick over what was true, and somewhere along the way a tired thought crept in that maybe this kind of love was no longer meant for you. Yet even in that doubt, you kept your heart from fully closing, and that mattered more than you know. Take this in. What you could not see was that while disappointment was loud, preservation was silent. God has always kept a remnant, hearts that did not bow to counterfeit loves, just as he once reminded Elijah that thousands remained faithful even when hope looked extinct. In the same way, someone has been kept untouched by the things that wounded you, not because they were spared hardship, but because they chose integrity while being tested. Their heart has been quietly set apart, shaped by reverence rather than appetite. The seeds you sowed in hidden seasons have been drawing this alignment closer. Now listen carefully, because what is approaching your life is not only affection, but direction. This is not a love that arrives empty-handed, content with emotion alone. It comes carrying vision, steadiness, and the courage to build something that reaches beyond the present moment. You have longed to be seen not just as someone to love, but as someone to walk with, to agree with, to move forward beside in shared faith, and that longing was not misplaced. What is forming understands that love requires agreement of spirit, unity of purpose, and a willingness to give without keeping score. This person is not intimidated by your strength or confused by your softer places. They recognize both as part of the same calling. Even now, subtle movements are taking place, conversations being stirred, awareness being awakened, timing being adjusted with precision that feels slow only because it is careful. For some, recognition is already happening quietly. For others, the meeting has been scheduled beyond your sight. Scripture reminds us that when the time is right, the Lord makes it happen, and that timing is not late, it is approaching. You do not need to chase, prove, or perform. What has been ordained will find you, and when it does, you will be recognized not by appearance but by spirit. Where others misunderstood you, this love will see clearly. Where others minimized you, this love will honor you. A chapter of temporary connections is closing, and a covenant written with intention is beginning to breathe. Do not grieve what did not last. It was never meant to carry what is now coming into view. Beloved, there is a reason this season feels weighty and intentional, because preparation has been quietly taking place on both sides of a promise you have not yet seen. You have carried your own hidden weariness, wondering why the waiting required so much inner work, why love seemed to demand healing before arrival, why silence itself became a teacher. Yet none of that was accidental. What you chose to tend in private, the way you kept returning to faith when it would have been easier to harden, has been witnessed and accounted for. Stay with me for a moment. What is drawing near requires balance, and balance is born when two hearts are equally surrendered, equally softened, equally willing to let God lead rather than ego or fear. Here's the key. Preparation is not punishment, it is alignment. Just as the one approaching your life has been refined through pressure rather than spared from it, you too have been shaped for a love that can endure weight without breaking. This is not about striving or proving worth, but about becoming steady enough to receive what has been set apart for you. Scripture speaks of a love found and held, not grasped in panic, but secured in covenant. And that image is important because what is coming will not slip through your hands. The refining you experienced was never meant to diminish you, only to remove what could not travel forward. The heart that is moving toward you has passed through its own fire, learning tenderness through pain, wisdom through restraint, and reverence through surrender. Unlike connections that carried unresolved wounds into intimacy, this love has learned to lay its scars before God, allowing healing to turn ache into compassion. That is why it will feel safe. That is why it will move slowly, intentionally, with care for the fragility of another human soul. Even before recognition takes place, prayer has already been exchanged in the unseen, covering steps, guarding timing, asking for readiness rather than control. This is a spiritual investment that began long before introduction. You may not have known why you were being asked to grow quieter, clearer, more rooted, but it was because something sacred was being formed, something that requires presence rather than urgency. The seeds you planted through faithfulness, restraint, and trust are now pressing upward, and what emerges will recognize you not by performance but by spirit. This love will honor the way you endured, the way you remained open, the way you sought God even when answers felt delayed. When it arrives, it will not feel rushed or loud, but settled, like something that finally makes sense of the long road behind you and prepares you for what is about to unfold ahead. There is a quiet ache many of you carry from seasons where love felt uncertain, where words were spoken but not upheld, where affection existed only in private, while honor was withheld in the open. You learned to brace yourself, to read between lines, to wonder if steadiness was even possible anymore. Yet even in that guarded place, you kept choosing truth over illusion, depth over excitement, and that choice has been seen. Let that land. What is approaching your life is not a fantasy forming overnight, but a character forged slowly, someone whose inner world is settled, whose heart is not pulled in opposite directions by impulse or appetite. Now listen carefully, because this matters. Integrity is not loud, but it is unmistakable. The one being prepared for you understands the weight of a promise and refuses to speak lightly where covenant is concerned. Their words carry substance because they have learned that trust is built through consistency, not performance. Scripture says, "The righteous who walks in integrity, blessed are their children after them," and that same integrity will be the ground your union stands on. Where you once felt hidden or secondary, this love will stand beside you without hesitation. You will not have to wonder where you stand or who you are to them. Honor will be visible, intentional, and unashamed, because this connection is not sustained by secrecy, but by truth. Some of you have known the pain of being loved in theory but not defended in reality, cherished in words but not in action, and that chapter is closing. The one coming carries responsibility with calm strength, not fear. They see partnership as purpose, not burden, and they understand that building something lasting requires patience, protection, and provision of the heart as much as of the home. Their life has been guided by light rather than confusion, shaped by a willingness to be led rather than to control, and that posture will bring clarity into your shared path. Questions you once asked about timing, about age, about appearances, have been refined into something deeper, because maturity is not measured by years, but by surrender. What matters now is how God has shaped their inner life, how humility has replaced pride, how faith has steadied desire. This love will not only meet you in joy but remain when storms rise. It will not retreat under pressure but grow roots. Unity will matter more than winning, peace more than ego, patience more than being right. You will recognize this person not by grand declarations alone, but by the quiet reliability of their heart, the way they forgive, the way they serve, the way they remain the same when no one is watching. Do not despise the waiting that brought you here. It was never neglect, it was protection. What felt like delay was training, and what is nearing now carries the strength to hold what you have guarded for so long. There is another layer unfolding now, one that speaks to the quiet fatigue you carried when doing the right thing seemed to cost you more than it gave back, when obedience felt lonely and restraint went unnoticed, when you wondered if anyone saw the discipline it took to remain soft in a hard season. You did not imagine that weariness, and you were not weak for feeling it. What you lived through was the tension of becoming ready before the evidence appeared. Hold this gently. In the unseen, timing has been adjusting itself around the seeds you planted without applause, and the weight you bore in silence has been calibrating the kind of love that can meet you without damaging what you've protected. This is the turning point, because preparation does not end quietly. It shifts atmosphere before it changes circumstances. Think of Joseph, faithful in obscurity, consistent in confinement, stewarding integrity when reward was nowhere in sight, unaware that the very delays he questioned were aligning him for recognition that would arrive suddenly and decisively. In the same way, what you endured refined your discernment, not to make you suspicious but to make you wise, able to recognize safety when it arrives, rather than mistaking intensity for depth. The movement happening now is subtle but deliberate, like roots strengthening underground before any green breaks the surface. You may notice old patterns losing their pull, conversations no longer stirring the same longing, distractions falling flat. And this is not loss, but recalibration. Heaven often quiets what is no longer aligned before it introduces what is. The love approaching your life is being drawn not to your performance, but to your presence, not to what you can give, but to who you have become through surrender. There is mutual recognition forming beyond awareness, a resonance shaped by shared refinement rather than shared history. You are not being asked to brace yourself anymore, but to remain available, to let peace replace vigilance, to trust that discernment has grown alongside desire. What is coming will not demand you abandon yourself to be chosen. It will confirm you were already chosen before arrival. The seeds of patience, healing, and obedience you sowed are now exerting a quiet gravity, pulling what belongs to you closer without force. This season invites you to release the habit of self-protection that once kept you safe, but is no longer needed where you are going. Love that is aligned does not rush your heart or test your worth. It meets you where you are standing and builds forward from there. The unfolding ahead will feel less like striving and more like recognition, less like proving and more like agreement. And as clarity continues to sharpen, you will realize that what felt like waiting was actually becoming. As you carry this message with you beyond this moment, understand that what has begun does not require effort to earn it, only room to receive it. This is not about doing more or becoming someone else overnight. It is about allowing your outer life to gently catch up with the inner shift already underway. You may feel invited to loosen your grip on an old thought that once kept you safe but now keeps you small, or to notice how a familiar fear no longer fits the person you are becoming. Let that release be quiet and unforced. In the same way, you might sense a nudge to make a little space around you. Nothing dramatic, just enough order, or openness to signal readiness, like clearing a surface, opening a window, or tending to a corner of your environment that has been ignored. These are not rituals to secure a promise. They are ways of aligning your attention with what is already moving toward you. You are also free to give language to your hope in a private way, perhaps by writing it down without editing or judgment, not to define outcomes, but to acknowledge desire honestly. Pay gentle attention to what repeats itself in your days, certain themes, conversations, or impressions that return without force, because awareness is often how guidance speaks first. None of this needs to be rushed or perfected. You are not behind, and you are not being measured. The invitation is simply to be a little more available than you were before, to practice saying yes internally before circumstances ask it of you. Preparation, in this sense, is not pressure, it is permission. It allows you to meet what is coming without scrambling or self-abandonment. You are not required to prove faith through strain or certainty. Presence is enough. Even choosing rest when you would normally push, or honesty when you would normally perform, becomes a way of making room. The unseen work has already been set in motion, and your role now is not to manage the outcome, but to stay responsive, grounded, and open. Let your life soften where it has been braced, and trust that readiness grows through small, sincere shifts rather than grand declarations. What is unfolding will meet you where you are, and each gentle act of alignment simply clears the path a little more, allowing the spiritual to step naturally into the everyday without disruption or fear. If something in you has been quietly stirred as you listened, trust that it was real and meaningful, not imagination or emotion passing through. What you sensed was recognition, the kind that happens when a truth brushes against a soul already prepared to hear it. The words spoken here have not simply faded into sound. They have been received, recorded, and set in motion in ways you do not need to oversee or manage. What has been named is already working beyond sight, unfolding with intention rather than urgency, guided by wisdom that does not require your constant attention to remain faithful. You can rest from trying to hold it all together. If you are still here at this moment, it is because something within you knew to remain, knew that this message belonged in your life now, even if you cannot yet explain why. That knowing is enough. Scripture whispers, "The steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord," and that quiet ordering is continuing even as this moment closes. This is not an ending, but a threshold, a soft crossing into a season that will reveal itself gradually, layer by layer, without force or spectacle. You are not being rushed forward, and nothing is being taken from you. What is ahead will meet you as you are, and clarity will come in its own time, through peace rather than pressure. Let what has been spoken settle where it needs to, without trying to define it too quickly. There will be confirmations you do not have to chase, understandings that arrive without strain, and moments that gently remind you that something has shifted. For now, carry this with openness and ease. Remain attentive, remain grounded, and allow what has been set in motion to continue its work. You may go in quiet confidence, knowing that this path is still unfolding and that you are walking it with guidance, care, and purpose. Let us enter this moment of prayer together, gently and without fear, knowing we are held. Faithful God, we come before you not from a place of lack, but from recognition, grateful for the way you have been guiding hearts quietly steadily, even when the path was not clear. Thank you for the unseen work you have already completed and for the sacred movements still unfolding beyond what eyes can measure. You have seen every seed planted in silence, every choice made in faith when no one was watching, every moment of restraint, obedience, and love offered without guarantee. And we honor you for being a God who remembers. We thank you for the protection woven into waiting, for the wisdom formed through patience, and for the preparation that has shaped character rather than hurried outcomes. We place into your care the season now opening, not asking you to rush it, but trusting you to lead it. Let your peace settle deeply, the kind that guards the heart and steadies the mind, allowing clarity to rise without pressure and courage to grow without striving. We surrender the impulse to control what is already ordered by your hand, releasing old fears, worn expectations, and identities that no longer fit the becoming you have initiated. Align every step with your timing, and let discernment be gentle yet sure, so that what is meant to be recognized will be recognized without confusion. We thank you for preparing connections rooted in integrity, for shaping love through refinement rather than illusion, and for building futures that carry purpose beyond the present moment. As your word reminds us that unless you build the house, those who build labor in vain, we rest in knowing that what you establish will stand, and what you join will be sustained by grace rather than effort. Grant readiness without anxiety, openness without self-abandonment, and faith that is grounded, calm, and alive. May each heart listening feel accompanied rather than rushed, strengthened rather than tested, aware that they are walking with you and not alone. We dedicate this unfolding chapter to you, trusting that what has begun will continue with faithfulness, wisdom, and care, and we remain attentive, willing, and at peace as you lead forward, step by step. Thank you for praying through this moment together, for allowing these words to hold space for what you may not yet have language for, and for staying present to what is moving in your life. You are not alone on this path, and as you go, may you carry a quiet assurance with you, knowing you are guided, supported, and gently accompanied. If your heart feels stirred and there are words resting inside you that have never quite found a safe place to land, I want to invite you into a moment of gentle honesty. You are welcome to share in the comments whatever you feel led to release, whether it is a hope you have carried quietly, a pain that has followed you longer than you admit, a question you have been afraid to ask, or a fear you have kept hidden behind strength. There is no right way to say it, and no need to explain yourself. What matters is sincerity. When you write from that place, know that God sees it fully and tenderly. Scripture reminds us that He is close to the brokenhearted and attentive to every whisper of truth, and nothing offered in humility is ever overlooked. As your words take form, they are not falling into emptiness. They are being met with compassion, guidance, and care. You are not exposing weakness by sharing. You are creating space for light to enter where heaviness has lingered. Let this be a moment where you do not carry everything alone anymore. Allow your words to rest here as a quiet offering, trusting that you are being held, heard, and accompanied in ways both seen and unseen. Even now, love is moving toward you, and you do not walk this path by yourself.